guys. Hello and welcome to Wednesday. This is the live little show that I do here every Wednesday right around noon. I'm a little bit late today, but that's okay. Today, what I'm talking to you about, kind of in keeping with the theme from yesterday's post that I did um, on Instagram, where I was talking about how if you're frustrated with like a low, what's happening with my microphone here? Sorry. Um, if you're having like a low sales lull, maybe you haven't sold anything in a little while, or it's just kind of like one of those periods where it's like, I wonder when the next time I'm going to sell something. I did Tuesday's tip was yesterday on the Instagram feed, and I talked about that. So this is kind of in keeping with that same vein. Today I'm talking to you about 3 ways to find your customer who wants to buy what you're selling, because that is what we need to find, right? We need to find those customers who want what you have instead of trying to talk people into wanting what you have. You want to just go after the people who you know want what you have, right? You want to get really targeted and really specific with who you are putting your leather goods in front of, because it's a waste of time. It's not a waste of time, but it just takes a lot longer. It takes a lot more energy to try and talk someone into buying your leather goods rather than showing the person who just already wants it and saying, hey, I have that over here. I got what you need. Um, so before we get into that, I want to introduce myself for those of you who don't know me or might be watching for the very first time, either on the Instagram live feed that I have going on here or on the Facebook page. My name is Mary and I'm the creator of Leather Beast, and I help people go from no sales land to creating a profitable leather goods business that they can rely on for consistent income month after month and help to grow their business and really scale it month after month. So how do I do that? I do that by focusing on 3 key areas. So first thing, and this is one of the first things that we talk about in my course, Lucrative Leathercraft, we talk about clarifying your brand message and your business. So really getting down to the basic elements of what your business is, who you serve, and what you do. Really being able to nail that down in just a couple of words, what it is that you do and who you serve. And then I also help you to find and attract your ideal customer, those people that are really going to care about what you're selling and what you have to offer. And then finally, we use marketing methods that work to promote your leather goods to the people who want them, using their pain points and your solution as the sort of glue that attracts it, or more like the magnet that attracts them to your brand. Anyways, if you're more interested in hearing about some of the ways that you can do this in your own business and the ways that you can get clear in your own business, I have a free workshop right now. Good evening, Paul from Japan. Awesome. I have a free workshop right now. It's at Lucrative Leathercraft, and it's all about those 3 key areas. So if you're just starting a business, this would be a great workshop for you to watch. It's totally free. You just got to pop your email in there, and I will email you the link to it. Okay, and before we dive into today's topic of finding the customers who want what you have, who want to buy your leather goods, hey, Hippie Chick from Chile. Awesome. We got all kinds of global people here. I just want to share this week's friendly review. So this is from Ivy, and she says, I just recently came across your Facebook page. What you're doing is awesome and much appreciated for people just starting out like me. It's hard to wrap my head around all of the info that I feel I need to learn and figure out. So it's a huge comfort seeing that you are addressing many of the exact questions I have. I am happy to address those questions. And if you have any questions, or if you would like to leave a review, just go to leatherbeast.com. Excuse me. leatherbeast.com and click the testimonials tab. There's a contact form there for you to do so. Hey, Rosalogue. Okay, let's get into it. So, 3 ways So I want to paint you a picture first. Imagine you have a leather good that you love making. It's a wallet that you made, you're super proud of it, and this has given you a lot of joy doing it. And now you want to share that joy with everyone, your friends, your family. Because, I mean, who wouldn't want a piece of this joy, right? You made this thing out of nothing, and it's amazing, right? Who wouldn't be willing to pay for this awesome thing, right? Wrong. Sadly, no. And actually, this is the kind of sort of backward thinking that can really leave you feeling rejected and discouraged from starting a business, because you're like, I made this awesome thing. Why isn't anyone buying it? But as you probably already know, either you've learned it the hard way or you've just listened to me for probably way too long talk about this thing. You know what I'm about to say. If you don't know who your customer is, first and foremost, you're going to have a real uphill battle when it comes to selling your leather goods. You can't just expect people to buy your leather good just because you think it's awesome and that you made it by hand and that you're a small business, so people should support your small business. I used to have the same thinking, by the way, when I first started. I used to think like, oh, cool, you just make stuff and then people buy it, right? But that's not how it works. And you probably already know that. Um, and this isn't to say that you can't get lucky. Of course, sometimes you make stuff and it sells, you'll sell one or two or a couple, or maybe you're just one of those like super lucky people. And this is another very rare situation where you do create something that you love making and it's kind of like this fluke and it takes off and it's like crazy like popular. But that's not really how it happens for the most part, and that's not like a great strategy to hope for that to happen. So I'm going to give you 3 different ways that you can actually plan to reach your customers who actually want what you're selling. So number 1, you can tweak your current leather goods line so that you are helping your customer. So if you're looking at your current line and you can't really pinpoint, you're not really creating a functional item that's really helpful, and you're kind of feeling stumped about that, you can tweak your line and kind of take whatever basic leather good that you make. Maybe it's a wallet, for example, right? It could be hard. It could be for anyone. That's not really helpful for a specific group of people. Sure, it holds your cash and your credit cards, right? But so does a wallet from Target, right? So we have to go deeper than just, oh, I'm helping someone by keeping their, cash and credit cards in a safe spot. But if you can go deeper than that, more specific, then that gives people a reason to shop with you instead of just going down to Target and buying a $10 wallet, right? So think about the small changes or tweaks that you could make that would attract a specific audience. So it could be something as small as your color choices. This is a very specific example, but what if you used, because I just recently saw this and I'm like, who would buy that? But I recently saw on one of these leather websites camouflage leather, and I'm like, what would you do with camouflage leather? But then I got to thinking and I was like, what if you made a wallet out of camouflage leather and then you market it to like the outdoorsmen or hunters, or like the hipster bearded lumberjack guys that are like have super groomed like beards and stuff? But what if you just tweaked the actual material that you're using and then you market that to that specific group? That's one way of doing it. Or could you add some sort of feature or an additional benefit to the wallet? Maybe you add like a little strap so it kind of doubles as a purse for women. Or you add a little clasp so that it can be clasped inside a handbag and really handy. You add another benefit or a feature to it that you can market to a specific group of people. Small changes like these can take even the most general product from vague and sort of uninteresting to something that really helps and hooks a specific group of people, right? Okay, number 2, up your marketing game to a specific group of people. Sometimes you don't even need to change your product, and you just need to change the sort of angle and the perspective that you're placing on your leather goods whenever you are promoting them to your audience. So this is actually probably even easier to do than the first one. And you can do this um, by changing the branding and the visual presentation on your social media, your website, and in your email marketing. So you could take that same wallet and, like I said, just market it to people who like to travel, to the wedding gift industry. This is one that I recently saw. I saw an entire website. It was leather goods. I think there were some other things too, but there were a lot of leather goods. But the entire website, it wasn't just, hey, I make leather goods. It was directed specifically at the wedding industry and a place to come to get your personalized gifts for the bride, for the groom, or for the brides and grooms to come and shop and get for their groomsmen, for their bridesmaids. So that's just like a very specific angle that you could focus your entire business on and really get specific with your messaging. I mean, think about how much more specific and how much more your emails could resonate with your community if you were just talking about everything wedding and everything like getting a gift, a leather wallet that's personalized with the date of your wedding or with the name of your husband to be, So just an idea. You don't have to all of a sudden go out and target your leather goods to the wedding industry, but that's just one way to kind of just get more clever with your marketing and up that part of your business, up your game there. And number 3, just reading the comments in the Instagram feed. Number 3, the third way to do this is to actually tap into a secondary passion or niche market. So what do I mean by secondary passion or niche market? I mean, think of another passion that you have and use it in conjunction with your leather goods. So think like leather goods. And so maybe you are very environmentally conscious and you want to mix your love of leather goods with eco-friendly, that market. And so you have wallets and handbags that are made out of natural vegetarian leather and sourced within your country, and it's low impact to the environment. This is your marketing hook, and you're really mixing those two things together. It's not all about the leather goods, but it's also about the environment and your passion for making environmentally friendly leather goods. Or maybe you have a basic wallet that is again marketed to the sorry, I lost my place here in my notes. Oh no, sorry. Maybe you have a passion for cooking or gardening. Pair your current line of general leather goods with that secondary passion of yours to get more specific. So you love cooking, so maybe make a line of leather goods specifically for the kitchen, trivets, an apron, pot holders, things like that. And then you now have this specific targeted group of people that you can reach out to and say, hey, I have this great line. You have more, it's all about getting more specific. So yeah, mixing a passion. One of my big passions is travel, and I'm mixing that in with my line of leather goods right now with a lot of messaging around exploring the world and living your best life and traveling and taking that forever vacation and all of these things, because that is one of my passions, and it's a great way to combine the two things and just get more specific. So all 3 of these things, the key there is just getting more specific, more pinpointed, more targeted with who you are reaching out to, with who you're speaking to, so that you can really get in front of the people who really want to buy what you have. You're not trying to talk anyone into, look at my wonderful leather goods, they're so great, you should buy them because it's better than what they sell at Target. You have to get more specific than that and go deeper than that. So I hope this helps. And I hope you'll join me next week, same time. Next week, I think we're talking about 5 ways to get over imposter syndrome. A couple weeks ago, I did a survey. A lot of you, thankfully, filled out my survey, and I was really appreciative of that. I got a lot of great feedback, and one of the top 3 things, one was pricing, the other was finding your customer, and the other one was um, yeah, imposter syndrome, and how to deal with the fact that some days you don't really feel like your leather goods are good enough, or that you're good enough to be running your own leather goods business, or that you have what it takes. So how to get over that feeling of like your leather work isn't good enough, and just imposter syndrome, because it happens to all of us. And just a little teaser hint, you never really get over it. You just have to learn how to deal with it. So I'm going to talk about that next week. Thanks, you guys, so much for joining me today. If you're not already a member of our Leather Tamers Facebook group, please go over and join that, and join the other hundreds of members that are in that growing group. And again, if you want to learn more information about getting clear on your business, attracting your customer, and using the marketing methods that work to get in front of them, head to Lucrative Leathercraft and watch my free workshop. All right. Have a great Wednesday, you guys. Bye. Bye.